Domestic accident and how we can control it. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today in this channel. And I would like you to sit back, and learn something, even when you've known this before, but you can still get 1 or 2 points that you never get to know from this discussion today. So just sit back, be patient, and let's have this discussion together. Now, before we go on deeply, guys, if you've been following me in this channel and you've not subscribed to this channel, I don't think it's a good idea, because then you're going to be missing out in a lot of things that is happening in this channel. So it would be nice for you to click on that button, that subscription button, and also that notification bell to get notified when a beautiful and interesting video like what we're going to do now is dropped in this channel. Thank you so much, guys. So now let's go on to our business of the day. Domestic accident and how we can control this in our homes. Now, the number one point I really want to pick here is using of candle. This is something that I know that is so common, especially in this part of the world where we live, that we always have issues with electricity. 1 minute the electricity is off, the other minute it is on. But we're not going to let this damage our homes. We're not going to let this destroy our homes. We're not going to let this even destroy our lives. So we must find a way to control this. And now these days there are so many devices in the market that can help you, put on light in your house when there is no electricity. For example, torchlight, rechargeable torchlight. To me, it's even going to save you more money to get one torchlight in your house than buying these candles every now and then when there is no electricity in your house, And especially if you have a big home, with many rooms in the house and many people in the house, you need to buy so many candles each time there is no electricity. And these candles, they burn very fast, especially the ones they produce these days. So it's even cheaper for you to get some torchlights, from the market, and maybe you can get one for 500 naira. That one you're getting for 500 naira is going to last you for months. And each time there is electricity, you recharge them, and then when there's no electricity, you can use them. I think it's far better than using candles in our homes. Candles in this country has killed so many, has destroyed so many families. So these are little things we should do, to avoid domestic accidents. Another point today is using of generator. Generator, we also use this, when we don't have electricity. And some people, you just see them, they'll bring this generator into their homes. Maybe they don't have enough space outside, or maybe it's raining, and they also want to feel fine sleeping at night. So they will now bring the generator into the house. And they forget that the fume from the generator can easily kill. When you inhale so much of that fume from the generator into your system, you can just pass out in your sleep. So let's avoid these things. If you must use your generator, make sure your generator is outside your house, and the exhaust of the generator is facing outside. It will make it easier for the fume to go outside instead of coming inside your house. And make sure there's no space under your door that the smoke of the generator will enter inside your house. I've seen a family somewhere in Nigeria here that a lady went to visit her friend, and she decided to pass the night there. At night, they had to put on a generator. The way the video was shown to us, the generator was actually, inside the house, a kind of, because where the generator was like a small corridor in the house, and the space wasn't much. The space from the corridor and the room where they were sleeping, it wasn't much. And there was a space under the door, that leads to the room where they were sleeping. So all the smoke was passing through that little space under the door. Because the corridor, there was no space for the smoke to go out. There wasn't anything like window, or open door for the smoke of the generator to be going out. So all the smoke, instead of going outside now, was coming through the small space under the door, that led to the room, they were sleeping. And what happened? They inhale so much of the smoke into their system. The three of them, the owner of the house, the younger brother, plus the visitor that went to visit, they all died in their sleep. You know, so these are things we must find ways to avoid them. Do what we can do to make sure these things don't happen by using these things like this in our homes. Now, another point we have there is frying of food. I know this one will sound funny, eh? When you're busy frying that chicken, that fish, you know, make sure you protect yourself. Wear something that is thick, because those oils, they used to jump out from the pot, especially your eyes. Me, you know what I do when I'm frying chicken or fish, you know? I put on my sunglasses or any glasses that I find around. I'll just put it on. I'll put that on because I don't want to lose my eyes in the process of frying fish or chicken or anything. I don't want to lose my eyes. So I use my sunglasses, and if you are there, you'll be just laughing. The first time my friends saw me doing this, they were like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm frying and I need to protect my eyes." I had on my sunglasses in the kitchen. And each time I go into the kitchen to fry, I make sure I wear long sleeve. I protect my body. You know, I don't want to get burnt by oil that is jumping out of some frying pan in the kitchen, you know. So it's important to protect yourself, protect your eyes, protect your body when you're frying anything. Another thing that can cause domestic accidents in our homes is slippery tiles. Slippery tiles in the bathroom. Some people, when they're building their homes, they don't know that there are some certain tiles that you're not supposed to use in your bathroom. And there are some certain tiles that are just meant for your bathroom, because those ones are not smooth like the ones they use in the sitting room or in the sleeping room. You know, so you must make sure you use the right tiles in your bathroom, and make sure that when you spill water on the floor where there are tiles, when you spill water on the floor where there are tiles, make sure you clean them up immediately, because leaving that water on the floor where there are tiles can cause someone to just slip off and fall and maybe hit the head on the ground, and that could cause something else. That could cause the person's life. Could cause the person's life. Just that little mistake that someone has made and spill water on the floor could cause somebody's life. Somebody could just step on it, you know, and that will be it. The person will fall on the ground and hit the head on the ground, and that could kill the person instantly. I've had people dying like that. Or even in the bathroom, because they've used wrong tiles in the bathroom, and the person will just slip off in the bathroom with the soap and the water there and hit the head on the floor or on the wall, and the person will pass on like that. I've had it happen so many times. So let's try and avoid things like that, so that we don't cause ourselves, you know, more damages. Another thing is dressing of your bed. When you're dressing your bed, make sure there are no sharp objects in between your mattress and the bed itself. You know, like some mothers, when you're dressing your children's bed, make sure you carry, you know, children, they play with a lot of things. They could play with knife, with razor blade, with sharp objects, and they leave them in between the bed. So when you're going to dress the bed, make sure you carry up your mattress and you check very well before you start, you know, putting your hand, you know, to tuck in the bed sheet or the blanket, wherever on the bed. So make sure there are no sharp objects, you know, between that space in your bed. You know, the space that demarcates the mattress and the bed itself. That little space that is there, make sure there are no sharp objects, so that when you're dressing your bed, it will not hurt your hand. Now, another thing there is knife. You know, using of knife in your home, and make sure you take them away And make sure you keep knives in your home away from where you have children. Any home that are children, make sure you always keep your knife far away from them. You know how children are. They don't really know what they're doing. They're young, they're just enjoying themselves. Anything they see, they want to use it to play. So you should make sure you keep things like knives away from them. Don't let them, get rich to knives in your home, in the kitchen. They can even use it to kill themselves. Believing that they're playing. You know how children are. They can use it to hurt themselves, even to the point of killing themselves, when the adult is not there in the house with them to watch over them. So make sure you put away knives, from your children. Make sure they don't reach knives in the house. Another thing is razor blade. Throwing razor blade in your house here and there when you have children is very dangerous. Sometimes they pick this razor blade, like I said earlier, everything is a toy to children. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know. They don't have sense to know that this thing will hurt them. They just feel, it's something. Let's use it and play. And razor blade is very flat. They can pick it and put it in their mouth, can swallow it, can even cut their tongue, can cut their finger with it, can hurt themselves anywhere with it. So let's make sure that we don't throw razor blades here and there. Some parents are so careless, especially with things like that. Some parents are so careless. Permit me to use that word. We are so careless sometimes. But let's be careful now. From this moment onward, let's learn to be careful with things like knives and razor blade in our homes, where we have children. Because they don't really know that these things are bad things for them to play with. They are dangerous things for them to play with. So try your best, as a parent, keep, razor blade away from the reach of your children. Now, another thing is moving car. In a compound like this, I've heard and I've seen where parents are moving their cars without knowing that their children are behind them. And they will just run over their children with their own cars. So we have to be very careful. When you're moving your car or when you want to move out of your car, make sure you check behind, the sides, even in front, to make sure that your children are not standing or any other child is not standing behind your car. You come back to your car and you move your car. Don't just jump into your car and move the car. You know how children are, daddy, daddy, mommy, mommy, and they will run to the back of the car. And you're trying to reverse the car, you are running over your child. So let's be very careful with things like this, please. This could cause us, regrets all the days of our lives. So before you move your car, make sure there are no child standing behind your car, in front of your car, by the side of your car, before you can now move your car. Now, another thing is leaving your car key on the ignition when there is a child inside the car. That is very dangerous too. There was this incident that happened somewhere in Nigeria here. It all happened one time that a man went to the mechanic workshop to fix his car. And he went with his son. So reaching the mechanic workshop, he left the car key on the ignition. And he was discussing with the mechanic outside. While he was outside, his boy, went to the front seat of the car and started doing what the father has been doing with the car key. Started playing with the car. Playing with the car. Before they knew it, this car was moving and this boy was inside. And before the father could run, to save the child, it was too late. The guy had done one or two things inside the car and drove himself to a wall. And that's how that boy died. So please, there are things we don't have to just overlook. Especially when you have a child with you. That man, if he had been more careful, going out with his car key or even taking the boy alongside with him, he would have still have his son today. But he lost his boy because of carelessness. Now, another thing we have to take note of is using of our phones where there is gas, cooking gas in the house, or petrol in the house. Once you have the data on your phone on, do not go close to your cooking gas in your house. Not only in your house, anywhere else. But since we are talking about domestic accident, in your house, once you know that the data on your phone is on, do not use that phone close to your cooking gas. That could cause explosion, could kill you and other members of your family. Don't overlook things like this. Switch it off or leave it somewhere else. When you are done, you can go now and do your chatting or make your phone calls. 1 minute or 2 minutes of you leaving your phone in your sitting room while you're busy in your kitchen is not going to, take anything out of your system. It's not going to take anything out of you. So let's not just get to, cling to our phones that will cause a lot of damages to our lives, to our homes, to our loved ones. After all, there were times we were living without phones. There were times we were living without phones, and we're still surviving. So for you to leave your phone in your sitting room or in your bedroom for a few minutes while you're busy in your kitchen, it's not gonna spoil anything. It's not gonna make you not to chat after. It's not gonna take anything out of your system. I don't even know what to say here. So let's just learn to avoid these little things. Let's learn to avoid these little things by doing the right thing at the right time. Another point here is leaving petrol in your house, inside your house. That is too dangerous. I've even seen that with my eyes. I've seen that with my eyes, killed a mother and a little baby. A little baby that we just saw. My friend actually went there to buy fuel for her generator. Few minutes after, we just saw flame of fire everywhere. Where is that coming from? We're just running helter-skelter. Just for us to find out that it was coming from a neighbor's house. He has been selling petrol. It was night. And she decided to use her phone torchlights, to sell fuel for the next person that came to buy fuel from her. And that's how the explosion just came up. That's how the house caught fire from the explosion that was being caused by using of torchlights to sell petrol to somebody. That's how she lost a beautiful baby girl that she just finished making her beautiful hair that afternoon. Fair, beautiful young baby. Beautiful baby. That's how she lost that baby. And herself, she died, a week later in the hospital. Why? Because she had to use the torchlights from her phone to sell petrol for somebody. How much was she making from that petrol that she sold that day, that she had to kill herself and her little beautiful baby? That was out of mistake. She would have used a torchlight. That's what I said earlier. Make sure you have a rechargeable torchlight in your house. If she had had one like that, there would be no way she would use that phone light. She would have used the torchlights, the rechargeable torchlights, to sell that petrol for the person that came to buy the petrol from her. And she would have still been alive today. Little things like this matters a lot. Let's do what we can do to avoid domestic accidents in our homes, so that tomorrow we'll not come back and be blaming the devil. So another point here is, do not leave your appliances on, especially in this part of the world that the electricity is always going off and on, off and on. When you know that you're not making use of them, don't leave them on. Don't leave them on, especially when you're leaving the house. Don't leave them on. They could cause you a lot of damages. I've also seen someone left the fan on and went out. And then As at that time the person went out, there was no electricity in the house. So coming back, or before the person came back to the house, the power came back on. And you know what happened? The fan the person left on caught fire. Because sometimes they will bring back this electricity, they will bring back the power, and it will come back with full current. To come back with full current. So as the person left the house and the fan was on, and the electricity came back on, and the electricity came back with full current, and that's how the fan caught fire. Caught fire. So the whole house was engulfed with fire from the fan. Just from small fan like this, a small spark, the whole house was engulfed with fire. Serious fire. That at the end of the day, they had to call fire service to put off the fire. Just from fan that somebody left on and went out. So when you're leaving your house, knowing the country that we live, put off all your appliances. At least if you are in the house and if it happens when you're in the house, you'll be able to control it and switch it off immediately. But when you're out of the house, no one in the house, the fire will take time and consume everything in the house. That way, you lose your house and you lose your properties. Then another thing there is raising unnecessary alarm. Some people, they will just see mosquito in the house and they will shout. And then the other person hearing them shouting is rushing to go and say what is happening, why they have to shout like that. And the process of trying to serve that person could hurt his or her own self, could even fall down and die. You don't believe me? It happens. In the process of this person rushing to go and save the other person that is raising the alarm, could fall down, hit the head, hit any part of the body, can cause so much damage to that person that is coming to rescue this one that is raising unnecessary alarm. So let's be careful when you are raising an alarm. Don't just raise unnecessary alarm. There are things you can see and you learn to control yourself, without shouting. Even when you have to raise an alarm, let it not be that type that will scare somebody. Do everything with wisdom, please, to save our loved ones and ourselves. If you've learned something from this little discussion today, and we take precaution from all this, thank you so much.